I used to think my life was steady, solid, unbreakable. We're doing good, I told Emily one morning while tying my tie. Not many people can say that. She leaned against the counter and smiled. You always talk like we're old already. I like planning ahead, I said. Good habits. Jason laughed from the couch. That's his way of saying he's boring. Reliable, I corrected. There's a difference. Emily walked over and fixed my collar. You are reliable, she said softly. Sometimes too reliable. Jason raised his mug. To the most loyal man I know. I smiled and lifted mine. To loyalty. That word meant everything to me. Jason had been my best friend since college. We shared cheap apartments, bad decisions, and big dreams. When I married Emily, he stood next to me, smiling wider than anyone. You finally did it, he whispered. You won. I believed him. Most evenings felt the same. Jason dropped by without calling. Emily cooked while teasing me about work. You're married to that job, she said one night. I do it for us, I replied. So we're safe. Jason nodded. Man's got his priorities straight. Emily shrugged. Or he's scared to slow down. That stung a little. I just want a future, I said. She didn't argue. She just checked her phone. I noticed small things but ignored them. Emily laughed less. Jason stayed longer. When I asked, you staying over again? He said, you don't mind, right? No, I said. Your family. Emily looked at me then. You're too trusting, she said. I laughed. That's not a flaw. Jason added, it is if people take advantage. Not us, I said. We don't do that. Family dinners felt different too. My sister once asked Emily, you okay? You seem quiet. I'm fine, Emily said quickly. Just tired. Jason jumped in. She worries too much. He works too much. I smiled. Someone has to hold things together. Later that night I asked Emily, did I say something wrong? She shook her head. No. You're perfect. That word didn't sit right but I let it go. Jason and I talked about the future like always. When we're old, he said, we'll laugh about how serious you were. With you still crashing my house, I replied. Emily forced a smile. I'll be the one yelling at both of you. See, Jason said. Perfect picture. There were moments I almost questioned things. Jason texting Emily late. Emily turning her phone face down. Once I joked, you two talk more than we do. Emily laughed too fast. Don't be weird. Jason said, relax. She needs someone fun. I trusted them. That was my strength, or so I thought. One night, Jason stayed past midnight. I yawned. You ever going home? Soon, he said. We were just talking. Emily avoided my eyes. About nothing, she said. I went to bed thinking, don't create problems that don't exist. That was my rule. Loyalty first. Doubt last. A week later, I planned a surprise for Emily. Nothing fancy. Just dinner, candles, her favorite music. I texted Jason. Keep her busy tomorrow? He replied fast. Say less, brother. I smiled. He's always got my back, I told myself. The next morning, Jason clapped my shoulder. You're a good husband, he said. I try, I answered. Emily grabbed her bag. I'll be late tonight. That's fine, I said. I'll wait. Jason added, I'll make sure she's okay. I thanked him without thinking. As they left together, something tight twisted in my chest. I ignored it. You're lucky, I whispered to myself. I had no idea my trust was already being used against me. I left work early with a smile on my face. Tonight, I whispered, I'll remind her why we chose each other. I bought her favorite dessert and drove home humming. When I turned onto our street, my smile faded. Why is her car here? I muttered. She said she'd be late. My chest tightened, but I laughed it off. Maybe she forgot something. I parked and walked inside. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Emily? I called. No answer. I took another step and heard a sound from upstairs. The soft laugh. Her laugh. My heart started pounding. Relax, I told myself. Don't be dramatic. I climbed the stairs slowly. Each step felt heavier than the last. The bedroom door was half open. I pushed it wider. Time stopped. Emily was on the bed. Jason was with her. My brain refused to understand what my eyes were seeing. No, I whispered. No. Emily gasped. I can explain. Jason jumped back. Man, wait. I didn't move. I couldn't. My body felt frozen. Explain what? I asked quietly. My voice didn't sound like mine. Emily grabbed the sheets. It's not what it looks like. I laughed once, sharp and empty. I'm standing in my bedroom, I said. Tell me what it looks like. Jason stepped forward. Bro, listen to me. It just happened. Stop, I said. My hand shook as I raised it. Don't call me that. Emily started crying. I never meant to hurt you. That's funny, I said. Because it feels like you stabbed me. My chest burned. Breathing hurt. I pressed my hand against my ribs. Why? I asked. Was I not enough? Emily shook her head fast. You were perfect. That was the problem. Jason cut in. She was lonely. You were always working. I turned to him. So you filled in? I asked. As my best friend? He looked down. I didn't plan this. I nodded slowly. Neither did I. Silence filled the room. It screamed louder than any fight. I waited for rage to explode, but nothing came. Just a deep, crushing numbness. Emily reached for me. Please say something. I stepped back. Don't touch me. She sobbed harder. I'll end it. I swear. I looked at Jason. How long? I asked. He hesitated. A few months. My knees almost gave out. Every dinner, I said. Every joke. You both looked me in the eye. Jason whispered, I'm sorry. That word doesn't belong here, I replied. Emily cried, I love you. I shook my head. You loved what I gave you. Not me. The pain turned sharp like glass cutting from the inside. My hands were cold. My stomach twisted. This hurts, I said. Physically. Emily tried to speak again, but I cut her off. Save it. She crawled toward me. Please don't leave like this. I stared at her. Like what? I asked. Like the man you destroyed? Jason said, we can fix this. I laughed softly. You can't fix what you chose. I grabbed my jacket. Jason stepped in my way. Where are you going? Anywhere but here, I said. He reached out. Don't do this. I looked at his hand and laughed. You already did. I walked past them down the stairs and out the door. The night air hit my face. I stood there shaking. My life was a lie, I whispered. My phone buzzed. Emily texted, please come back. I turned it off. I kept walking. I laughed out loud on the sidewalk. Trust, I said to the empty street. That was my mistake. My hands shook as I dialed Jason, then stopped. You don't get my voice anymore, I muttered. A car passed, music playing, life moving on. I felt small, exposed, humiliated. This is real, I told myself. This is happening. I wiped my face and took a breath that burned. I didn't know where I was going, only that I couldn't stay. Every step away from that house felt like stepping off a cliff, but staying would have killed what was left of me, and I knew I wouldn't survive. I didn't go home. I didn't go anywhere that mattered. I sat in my car until my phone buzzed again. Emily. I turned it face down. Not now, I whispered. Then Jason called. I let it ring. Every vibration felt like another lie knocking. By morning I was empty. I stared at the wall and said out loud, this can't be real. Saying it didn't help. My chest still hurt. My head still replayed the same image. My phone lit up again. Emily texted, please talk to me. I typed nothing. Jason left a voicemail. I messed up, he said. Please. I laughed bitterly. You ruined my life, I said to the phone. I drove to my sister's place without calling. Sarah opened the door and froze. What happened? She asked. I stepped inside and sat down. I can't breathe, I said. She closed the door slowly. Who did this to you? I swallowed. Emily, I said. And Jason. Her face changed. Say that again. They're together, I said. I saw them. Sarah sat beside me. Tell me everything. I shook my head. If I start, I won't stop. That's fine, she said. I'm not going anywhere. I stared at my hands. I trusted them, I said. I trusted them more than myself. Sarah clenched her jaw. How long? I don't know, I said. Long enough to make me feel stupid. You're not stupid, she said sharply. I miss signs, I argued. The late nights. The secrets. I chose not to see it. That's love, she replied. Not weakness. I rubbed my face. I keep asking what I did wrong. She looked at me. Did you cheat? No. Did you lie? No. Then stop blaming yourself. I exhaled slowly. I feel replaceable, I admitted. Like I didn't matter. Sarah's voice softened. You mattered enough for them to hide it. That hurt worse. They looked me in the eye, I said. Every day. She shook her head. Some people are good at pretending. My phone buzzed again. Jason. I turned it off. I don't want to hear excuses. You don't have to, Sarah said. I leaned back. I don't want revenge, I said quietly. I just want it to stop hurting. Sarah nodded. It will. Not today. But it will. I laughed weakly. You sound sure. I am, she said. I've seen you survive worse. I shook my head. This feels different. It is, she agreed. But you're still you. I closed my eyes. Memories flooded in. Emily smiling. Jason joking. Me believing. I feel like a fool, I said. Sarah touched my shoulder. You loved. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I opened my eyes. What do I do now? You rest, she said. You don't answer them. You heal. I nodded. I don't recognize myself. You will again, she said. I picked up my phone and deleted the messages without reading them. I can't fix them, I said. I can barely hold myself together. Sarah hugged me. Then let me hold you up. For the first time since that night, I cried. Not loud. Just enough to breathe again. Emily called me 12 times before I answered. When I finally said, talk, my voice sounded empty. Please, she said. Just meet me once. Fine, I replied. Public place. We sat across from each other at a small cafe. She looked smaller. You look tired, she said. So do lies, I answered. She flinched. I never wanted this to happen. It didn't fall from the sky, I said. You chose it. Tears filled her eyes. I was lonely. I laughed softly. I was married. You were always working, she said. I felt invisible. I leaned forward. You never said that. I didn't know how, she whispered. You knew how to sleep with my best friend, I said. She covered her face. Please don't say it like that. There's no other way, I replied. She looked up. Jason didn't mean for it to happen either. I shook my head. Stop protecting him. It just happened, she insisted. One night turned into another. Funny, I said. Every bad choice sounds like an accident. She reached for my hand. I love you. I pulled back. You loved the life I gave you. Her voice broke. I'll cut him off. I swear. I stared at her. You're not sorry you hurt me. You're sorry you got caught. She froze. That's not fair. It's honest, I said. That's the difference. Silence sat between us. I felt something shift inside me. No anger. No fire. Just clarity. I'm done begging, I said. I'm done yelling. She whispered, what does that mean? It means I'm choosing myself, I replied. She shook her head. So that's it. That's it, I said. You made your choice. Now I make mine. She cried quietly. I never thought you'd walk away. I never thought you'd betray me, I said. I stood up. Take care, Emily. She reached out. Wait. I paused. Goodbye. I left before she could say my name again. An hour later, I sat in Mark's office. He looked calm, unreadable. Sarah told me enough, he said. Tell me what you want. I want peace, I said. He nodded. Then don't rush. Knowledge is power. What are my options? I asked. Divorce, he said. Clean, quiet, controlled. And revenge. I asked. He studied me. That's a feeling, not a plan. I nodded. I don't want to explode. Good, he said. Silence scares guilty people more. I leaned back. They think I'm weak. They think wrong, he replied. I asked, do I confront Jason? Not yet, Mark said. Let them wonder. I exhaled. I don't want drama. Then don't create it, he said. Let truth speak later. I stood up. So I wait. You prepare, he corrected. I shook his hand. I won't tell anyone. He smiled slightly. That's wise. I walked out feeling lighter. Emily texted me again. Please don't do this. I typed one message. I need space. She replied instantly. I love you. I didn't answer. For the first time since the betrayal, I wasn't reacting. I wasn't chasing answers. I wasn't trying to fix people who broke me. I realized something simple and painful. They didn't deserve my noise. They deserved my absence. And as I walked away, I knew this quiet choice would hurt them more than any scream ever could. I moved into a small apartment downtown. No Emily, no Jason, just walls and silence. I unpacked slowly, talking to no one. My phone buzzed with messages, but I left them unread. Not yet, I whispered. David called one morning. Hey man, heard about everything, he said cautiously. I laughed softly. Yeah. Crazy, right? You okay? He asked. Really? I shrugged. I will be. Just quiet for now. He hesitated. I told you he wasn't loyal. I know, I said. I ignored it. I trusted. David chuckled. Well, lesson learned the hard way. I smiled faintly. Hard way indeed. After that call, I started focusing on myself. Gym first. My muscles ached, but the pain felt good. At least something's honest, I muttered to myself. Emily couldn't lie to a dumbbell. I set routines: wake, work, gym, sleep. Each day felt like reclaiming a piece of me. No calls, no drama. Just me. A week later, David and I met for lunch. You look different, he said. Calmer. I'm learning, I said. Silence is powerful. He nodded. And dangerous if ignored. I raised an eyebrow. How so? People like Jason, David said. They overreach when no one's watching. I frowned. You mean, at work? Exactly, he said. He's bending rules, covering for mistakes, lying. I let that sink in. So the chaos he caused at home, he's causing everywhere. David shrugged. Could be. I just thought you'd want to know. I appreciate it, I said. I'm not going to confront him. Not yet. David smiled. Good. Let him dig his own hole. That evening, I lifted weights while replaying their faces in my mind. Emily's fake tears. Jason's excuses. They're so used to control, I muttered. They forget silence can hurt worse than yelling. The next day, I went to the grocery store. Emily's number flashed. I ignored it. Hours later, Jason texted. I didn't open it. Let them wonder, I said aloud. That's more powerful than any argument. Work became a refuge. David warned me if Jason slipped up again, it could ruin him. He can't cover everything forever, David said. People notice eventually. I'm watching, I said quietly, but from a distance. I started sleeping better. My mind cleared. Rage softened into observation. I control me, I whispered. Not them. Not their mistakes. Weeks passed. Jason grew careless. He overspent at work, snapped at clients, and left emails open. Emily called less frequently, her voice nervous when I did answer. I said little, just enough to keep distance. That was enough. One evening, David leaned back and smiled. You're changing, man. Calm, sharp. He doesn't know how dangerous that is. I nodded. I let karma breathe, I said. I don't push it. I just watch. He laughed. Funny. Watching is the hardest part for most. I can wait, I replied. They'll break themselves. I went home that night and lifted a glass of water. To patience, I whispered. My reflection in the mirror didn't look broken anymore. Quiet strength had replaced the chaos inside me. The next morning, I ran 5 miles without stopping. My body screamed, but I pushed. Sweat and exhaustion felt like justice. I control my life, I said aloud. No one else. By the week's end, I realized something. The more I ignored them, the more I felt alive. Every reckless move they made, every lie Jason told at work, every nervous glance Emily shot me, it wasn't my burden. I just observed. I was no longer the man they could manipulate. David called again. Feeling better? Much, I said. Watching is enough. Silence is enough. For the first time. I'm in charge. The first call came at midnight. Emily. I ignored it. Twice. Then I answered. Please, she whispered. Something's happening. Go on, I said calmly, though my chest tightened. They're talking. Friends, people know, she stammered. I don't know who. I'm scared. I stayed silent for a moment. Why call me? Because I don't know what to do, she said, her voice trembling. I thought I could fix this. I can't. Then fix yourself, I said quietly. That's all you can do. She cried softly. Jason, he's changed. Angry. Stop, I interrupted. Don't drag me into your chaos. A few days later, I saw it quietly unraveling. Jason missed deadlines, snapped at clients, and left a report incomplete. Rumors floated in emails and whispers followed him in meetings. I didn't touch a finger. I didn't need to. The truth was unfolding like a storm. David caught me at lunch. He's a mess, he said. I told you he'd slip. I nodded. Watching is enough. He's blowing his chance, David said. It's amazing. You're letting this happen. Yes, I said. And it's hard. I want to step in. I want to do something. But, he prompted. But it's not my fight, I said. He made his bed. Emily called again. Please, just listen, she said. Her voice was small. He's drunk. He's yelling. He blames you. I don't care what he blames me for, I said. You're adults. Handle your mess. She sobbed quietly. I don't know how. You'll learn, I said. Pain teaches better than lectures. Later that week, Jason came to my apartment. Staggering, smelling of alcohol. You think you're so clever? He slurred. You're sitting there like nothing happened. I didn't flinch. I don't need clever, I said. I need peace. You ruined me, he shouted. She wouldn't leave me if it wasn't for you. Really? I asked. Or maybe she's realizing who you are. He growled and stepped closer. You think you're better than me? I know I'm not the one lying, I said calmly. Not the one destroying everything in front of me. He stared. Rage and confusion twisted his face. Then he left, tripping down the stairs. I didn't follow. Emily texted later. I don't know who to call. I'm scared. I typed back slowly. Call someone who cares about you responsibly. Not me. She replied instantly. I can't. You're the only one I feel safe with. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Rumors spread faster than either of them expected. Friends turned away. At work, Jason was under review. Emily's social circle shrank. I stayed quiet, observing. Every slip, every lost friend, every awkward confrontation, karma in motion. One evening David said, It's almost poetic, isn't it? You let it go and it destroys them. I shrugged. It doesn't feel poetic. It feels heavy. You're restraining yourself, he said. That's the hardest part. I don't want to be cruel, I said. I just don't want to be part of their lies anymore. That's more than enough, he said. I walked home that night thinking about everything. Emily's fearful texts. Jason's drunken threats. The slow crumble of their world. I felt something strange. Power, yes, but also guilt for not intervening. Still I stayed silent. They're learning, I whispered to myself. Not from me but from themselves. The night air was cool, sharp against my skin. I clenched my fist. I won't push, I said. I won't stop it. Let them feel the truth they hid from me. That's all the justice I need. And for the first time in months I felt steady. Observing, restrained, unshakable. They were unraveling and I was finally free. Jason called me first. I didn't answer. Later David texted, He's gone. Fired today. I laughed quietly, almost in disbelief. Finally, I muttered. Emily called that evening. I let it ring twice before picking up. Hello. I need to talk, she said, voice trembling. Why now? I asked, calm but steady. Because it's all unraveling, she whispered. My family, they know. Everything. I stayed silent. Go on. I didn't realize. I traded stability for illusion, she admitted. I thought I was in love, but you weren't, I said softly. She sniffled. I'm sorry. I was stupid. I want to make it right. Please just hear me out. I took a deep breath. Okay, speak. I'll listen. She hesitated. I never meant to hurt you. I never thought. Her voice broke. I can't take back what I did. You can't, I said. And that's why this matters. I don't want your excuses. I want truth. I'm telling you, she said, tears falling. I made the worst mistake of my life. I nodded. I know. And it's not just your mistake, it's Jason's too. But I won't discuss him right now. Focus on yourself. I don't deserve forgiveness, she whispered. You don't, I admitted. But I don't need to punish you either. There was silence. I could hear her quiet sobs. I said softly, Do you remember the nights we planned our future? The dreams we shared? Yes, she said. I remember. I loved you with everything I had, I said. And I still value what we had. But you made your choice. I can't stay where trust doesn't exist. I can't lose you, she said, panic rising. You already lost me, I said. Not by leaving, not by lying, but by betraying me and pretending otherwise. Emily cried harder. Please, at least let me explain fully. I shook my head gently. I don't need explanations anymore. I need peace. She paused. You can't fix this, I said. And I won't fix it for you. A long silence. Then she said, I'm so sorry for everything. I know, I said. My voice was calm, steady. Not angry. Not bitter. Just final. I opened my hand and held out my wedding ring. Here, I said. You keep the memories. I keep my life. Emily didn't move at first. Then she took the ring, tears streaming down her face. I wish I could change everything. You can't, I said. But you can live with it and learn. I hung up. The phone felt heavier in my hand than it ever had. I sat in silence, letting the truth settle. For the first time I felt free. No rage. No pleading. No lingering illusions. Just me. I stood and walked to the window. The city lights were bright, distant. I whispered to myself, I let go. I finally let go. And in that moment I realized I was stronger than I had been. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure from them. I had closure from myself. The past was behind me and the future was mine. Come, clear, mine. Mark called me first. It's over, he said calmly. The papers are signed. Everything's final. I exhaled slowly. No surprises? No surprises, he confirmed. You're clean legally and financially. I nodded. Relief washed over me, but it wasn't loud or dramatic. Just quiet, steady. Thank you, I said. You did this right, Mark said. No noise, no chaos. That's the real power. I smiled faintly. I'll remember that. Later that day, Jason called. I let it ring. Twice. Then I answered. What? Look. He started, voice unsure, almost small. Stop, I said. You don't get to explain. I know I hurt you, he said quickly. You betrayed me, I interrupted. Not just betrayed. You lied, you destroyed trust. And now you're trying to fix it with words. He sighed. I just want to make it right. I don't need that, I said. I don't need closure from you. I don't need apologies. I'm not interested in what you think is right anymore. There was silence. Then he whispered, I'm sorry. Words are cheap, I said softly. Actions cost more. And I've already walked away. He didn't respond. I ended the call. Quietly, firmly, without a glance back. That evening, Emily's letter arrived. I picked it up, weighing it in my hand. Her handwriting, familiar, pleading, regretful. I read the first line. I can't believe I hurt you this way. I paused. My fingers tightened. The urge to respond flickered. Then I remembered the nights I sat alone, the pain, the betrayal. I didn't write back. I didn't call. I didn't need to. I placed it on the counter, unopened. Let it sit there. Let it mean nothing to me. David texted later. She sent you something? Yes, I replied. I'm not replying. He answered quickly. Good. That's the right move. I leaned back in my chair thinking about the past months. How I had spiraled at first, how I'd confided in Sarah, and how I had rebuilt myself slowly, deliberately. Gym sessions, long runs, quiet evenings alone with my thoughts. Discipline, focus, self-respect. I realized something simple. My revenge wasn't money. It wasn't humiliation. It wasn't exposing them. My revenge was me. My peace. My clarity. Watching them stumble not because I pushed them, but because truth eventually reveals itself. I called Sarah. It's finally done, I said. I know, she replied. How do you feel? Light, I said. Stronger. Calmer. I don't even want to think about them anymore. I just exist and it's enough. That's exactly it, she said. You won without touching them. I laughed softly. Funny, isn't it? All that pain, all that rage, and the real victory was staying quiet, staying dignified. Dignity, she repeated. That's the kind of revenge they can't understand. I nodded, looking out the window. The city lights reflected in the glass. They wanted chaos. They wanted me broken. I gave them nothing. I gave them silence, and that's louder than any scream. David called again. You look different, he said. Yeah, I admitted. I stopped reacting. I stopped chasing. And for the first time, I feel in control of everything that matters. You've won, he said. Yes, I said. Without touching them. Without sinking to their level. The only revenge that matters is self-respect. I set the phone down and exhaled. The apartment was quiet. My apartment, my life. I poured a glass of water, lifted it slowly, and whispered to myself, I'm free. And this is my victory. For the first time in months, I didn't think about the betrayal. I didn't think about their mistakes. I thought about me, who I was, who I'd become, and how I would never trade my dignity for illusions again. I sit in my apartment, coffee in hand, watching the morning sun spread across the skyline. Quiet. Peaceful. Not perfect, but mine. David called earlier. You sound different, he said. I feel different, I replied. Not lighter. Not free. Just steady. Steady is good, he said. You look like the old you, only stronger. Stronger, I repeated. Yeah, maybe. I don't let the past control me anymore. Sarah visited last week. She smiled when she saw me. You've changed, she said. I have, I admitted. I'm not the same man who trusted blindly. I've learned. Learned what? She asked. That trust doesn't mean blindness, I said. And love? Love should never cost self-respect. She nodded. And did you keep your self-respect? I did, I said firmly. That's the only revenge I needed. Emily's letter still sits unopened on the counter. I see it sometimes, but I don't touch it. My life isn't about reopening wounds. I choose to focus on what I control, me. David texts me updates about work. Jason stumbled again this week, making mistakes that could have been avoided. I don't gloat. I don't interfere. I watch quietly like I did from the beginning. I'm not vengeful. I'm observant. Some nights, loneliness creeps in. I admit it. I miss companionship, the intimacy I thought I had. But I don't miss the lies. I don't miss the betrayal. I know now that avoiding pain doesn't equal safety, but facing it without losing myself does. I run longer, lift heavier, read more. I reconnect with people who matter. Conversations with David, laughter with Sarah, even quiet chats with neighbors, they remind me of life outside of hurt. Last night I thought about Emily. Not with anger. Not with longing. Just with clarity. She made her choice and so did I. I don't wish her pain. I just don't belong in it. Jason crossed my mind too. That familiar rage bubbled for a moment. Then I remembered silence, patience, and dignity. My calm steadied me. The man I was then, angry, naive, trusting blindly, doesn't exist anymore. I think about the small victories, the ones no one notices. Leaving her house that night, walking away from his drunken threats, refusing apologies I didn't need. Quiet choices that felt heavier than any confrontation. Those moments shaped me more than any scream ever could. I pick up my journal. I survived betrayal, I write. I didn't break. I didn't stoop. I rebuilt. The words feel honest, full of weight. Not all the wounds are gone, but the edges are softer. I don't dwell. I move forward. Some days the thought of trust scares me, but I know now how to protect it, how to guard myself without shutting out the world. I smile faintly, sipping my coffee. Every step, every choice, every silence taught me something crucial. My worth isn't negotiable. Sarah texts me. Morning run? On my way, I reply. I stand, stretching, feeling my body awake and strong. I glance at the mirror. The reflection is familiar but wiser. Calmer. Not hardened, just steady. I whisper to myself, I am more than the lies they told me. I am more than the pain they caused. I am me. And for the first time in a long while, I believe it fully. Not with bitterness. Not with anger. But with quiet strength and clarity. I step outside into the morning light. The city hums around me. Life continues and so do I, stronger, wiser, free.